Hello, my name is Oscar Jökuldrup. Today we're going to talk about vinegar and weight loss. Many of you will know that I post infographics on social media about sports science, sports nutrition in particular, and that those infographics have a link to blogs where I explain the background a little bit more and also the context, because it is the context that really makes the truth. Now, because a lot of people do not click that link, do not go to the blogs and read the blogs, I am going to try and see if people will actually watch this video. So in this video, we will discuss the background and it's the same content as the blogs. Now, vinegar, and in particular apple cider vinegar, has been linked to a number of positive health effects, as is the case with many nutrients and foods. In recent years, vinegar has been hailed and promoted for its weight loss properties. Is there some truth in these claims? Can it really help weight loss? Now, apple cider vinegar comes from apples that have been crushed, distilled, and fermented. It can be consumed in small quantities or taken as a supplement, and the usual way is to take 1 to 3 tablespoons before or with the meal. The active compound in apple cider vinegar is believed to be acetic acid, and if that is the active compound, then any type of vinegar would have the same effects. It also contains a number of polyphenols, which could also be responsible for some of the effects. Now, for thousands of years, various forms of vinegar have been used for their presumed healing properties. It was claimed that it improves strength, it detoxifies the body, whatever that may mean. It was once used as a treatment for wounds, fever, sores, even scurvy, and it's also been claimed to be an antibiotic. Now, most of these claims are not true, but more recently the claims have been the effects on weight loss as well as glucose control. In this video, we will focus on weight loss only. There is some evidence that it modifies glucose responses to meals, but whether that also exerts health benefits for healthy individuals with normal glucose control, that is still open. Maybe a topic for a future video. Here we will look at the evidence that vinegar can help weight loss. Now, several studies in obese rats and mice suggest that acetic acid can prevent fat deposition and improve metabolism. Of course, that doesn't mean that the effects also translate to weight loss in humans. Studies in humans are far less convincing. There are few studies, and most of them relatively small, and the results are also mixed. In one Japanese study that often gets cited, it's published in 2009, 175 obese individuals were randomly assigned to 3 groups of similar body weight, body mass index, and waist circumference. During a 12-week treatment period, the subjects in each group ingested 500 ml daily of a beverage containing 1 tablespoon of vinegar, that is 15 ml, containing 750 milligrams of acetic acid, 2 tablespoons, 30 milligrams of vinegar, or 1500 milligrams of acetic acid, or no vinegar. There were small reductions in body weight, 1 to 2 kilos over the 12-week period, BMI, visceral fat area, waist circumference, serum triglyceride levels in both the vinegar intake groups compared with the placebo. However, 4 weeks after the intervention, weights had returned to normal. Some have suggested that a reduced food intake with the addition of vinegar is responsible for these changes. And one study found that vinegar consumption promoted feeling fuller after eating. That seems a positive outcome and maybe an explanation for the weight loss in the study we just discussed. However, when reading the study in more detail, it becomes clear that it did so by causing nausea. And I think very few people would consume something that makes them nauseous for longer periods of time. So the sustainability of such a practice should be questioned. A more recent study randomly assigned 39 subjects to follow a restricted calorie diet with apple cider vinegar or a restricted calorie diet without apple cider vinegar for 12 weeks. While both groups lost weight, the apple cider vinegar group lost a little bit more. The effects were small and short-term. Now, there are also a number of studies that show no effects on body weight or health parameters. These studies usually get no attention at all in the media, and we also know that such studies are more difficult to get published. We call that publication bias. However, the findings are just as important. A meta-analysis could only find 13 studies performed on humans that were eligible for inclusion. And the studies that were included were not all specifically looking at the effects of weight loss. So on weight loss we have even less. Many of these studies were interested in other outcomes. Now, of the 13 studies, 10 were clinical trials and 3 studies were non-randomized intervention studies. When the authors performed the risk of bias assessment, the studies were judged to be of low quality. Most studies had no sample size calculations prior to conducting the studies and no considerations of power, and almost all studies were single-blinded. And it was also difficult to find, understandably, a suitable placebo for vinegar. So the hype of apple cider vinegar, or vinegar in general, and weight loss is based on minimal evidence, and the evidence that is available is relatively low quality. So what can we conclude about vinegar? The scientific evidence that vinegar consumption, whether it's apple cider vinegar or something else, is an effective way to lose weight loss long term is not compelling. It is questionable whether the practice is sustainable, especially in individuals where it could cause side effects. Could there be any negative effects of taking daily doses of vinegar? Well, some have argued that it would damage tooth enamel or have effects on potassium concentrations, but that evidence isn't that strong. The conclusion was shared in a meta-analysis in 2020, and they concluded that the side effects and the negative consequences when ingesting in the amounts suggested or recommended is really minimal. So if you really want to lose weight, paying attention to overall intake and physical activity are still the key factors. Finding ways that reduce intake but make it sustainable for you, and solutions will therefore have to be highly individual. There is no simple zero effort cure that works for everyone. If someone is advertising this, then alarm bells should be ringing. Thanks for watching this. If you want to read the blog, the link is in the description below, or you can visit mysportscience.com. If you want to watch more videos like this one, visit mysportscienceacademy.com. Thanks again and see you in the next video. Bye for now.